Saturday, 9th of August, 2025 at 10:33 a.m. here in Snohomish, Washington, United States of America. Welcome once again to our cosmic journey. It is your dev and design podcast featuring two boys who have 99 episodes, but a milestone they have none. This is your designer, Jake. He is your engineer, Trey. Hello, Trey.
Hello, Jake.
He's actually sitting across the way from me.
Which you would never realize because Jake is wearing a tank top and I'm wearing a sweater.
Yeah.
And yet we're in the same room.
And you're in the same room with the same temperature, same ambient temperature of 70.5 degrees Fahrenheit, and yet this is the wildly different body temperatures that we have currently. Mr. Henry, why are you so cold?
I don't know. I'm actually not even that cold. I put this sweater on this morning when we were leaving because it was still relatively cool outside.
Yeah.
Even though it's going to be a pretty warm day.
Yeah.
Beautiful, sunny, warm day here in the Pacific Northwest. And I just haven't taken it off yet.
I took mine off because I was poorly temperature regulated. You might remember from a prior episode. No, actually, sorry. This check-in question never existed. We have created the Mandela effect around this check-in question around whether or not the what kind of hoodie do you want question. So there's a Mandela effect here. There is no episode up there, so don't even look. Don't even look up there. There's no episode.
There's nothing there.
The check-in question, though, let me help you understand what's going on in my mind right now, was
Use your words.
your hoodie. Zipper or no zipper.
Yeah.
Mr. Henry is a zipper. I am a no zipper. So because I'm a no zipper, I was wearing a hoodie and I was a little bit too hot, but I have only this shirt underneath it. So again, the viewer has to be victimized by my bare shoulders. I apologize deeply for that. The episode this week, let's just move on. The episode this week is called Smooth Paneling because we have Trey's check-in coming in here, and then we're going to talk about the fact that we can actually manage panels. That was work that was done by me with the generous help of Codex, but not entirely Codex, so calm down.
Yeah.
Then we're going to talk a little bit about some small back-end updates that Mr. Henry has made, and we'll, of course, start whinging about the difficulty of aspect calculations with an ask from all of you to help us out with something when it comes to aspect calculation. But of course, before we get to all of that, we always start with the check-in question. Mr. Henry, it is yours.
So my check-in question for you, Jake Zukowski, is where is it appropriate to have wood paneling?
Where is it appropriate to have wood paneling?
If anywhere.
If anywhere. If anywhere. Like, we have to ask this like a lawyer. If anywhere, where is the appropriate place to have wood paneling? I'll say the appropriate place to have wood paneling is the built-on family room in Mundelein, Illinois at the address of 1194 Highland Road, 60060, because...
Do we know who lives there? Did you just like dox them?
We doxed them. I used to live there. Don't go to their house. I don't
Who knows
live there
who lives
anymore.
there now?
But if you do go to their house, which you should not do, you can go into the family room and you can see fruitwood stained wood paneling everywhere, because my father was a huge fan of two things: fruitwood stained wood paneling and spindles. He used to make spindle art. Like, he used to cut spindles in half and like glue them on as like these like plinths next to the fireplace and things like that. Very intricate work. I appreciate the amount of effort that he put into it. He's gonna make me sneeze. Whenever I talk to my father, he usually makes me sneeze. So if I start sneezing, you'll know that Ted is in the room right now. What about
Ted
you?
has been summoned.
Spindles. Yes, I said spindles, and then Ted materializes from the ether plane here. Where do you think that wood paneling exists, if anywhere?
I think one place that it should be that it hasn't been, I think, in a while, is on the side of cars.
Oh my God.
Those old cool like station wagons with like wood paneling on the side.
Yes.
How amazing.
Very Vacation, like the...
the Vacation movies.
Yeah, National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah.
Love that green car with the wood paneling that Clark Griswold gets duped into buying to do the cross-country trip. Love it.
Yeah, we should go back to having wood paneling on cars.
Did you ever take With your family, did you ever take any cross-country road trips?
Oh yeah, lots. Well, cross country, a few cross country, but we did a lot like sort of going up and down the West Coast. And
Okay.
I remember like because we had a Volkswagen van at some point, which was super fun. And then I think Dad and me and a friend of the family's did an RV trip like all along the coast of California and through the Valley of the Redwoods.
That sounds amazing.
So, yeah, really cool.
We did 3 road trips of significant mileage. We went from 1194 Highland Road, Mundelein, Illinois, 60060. Do not show up. And we drove to LA. We drove to Orlando to go to Disney World.
Oh,
and we
fun.
drove to, not Augusta, Portland, Maine.
Oh, yeah.
All
on the East Coast.
And the reason why I got in my head that I wanted to live in Seattle when I was a kid is because it was the only place we didn't drive to. Isn't that strange? I like anchored on this idea that I was like, well, and I asked my parents like, why don't we drive to Seattle? And they said, well, there's no one in Seattle. There's nothing in Seattle. And I was like, I'll show them. So I decided
many
to live
of your
here.
early life choices were based on just doing the opposite of what your parents wanted. For example, buying a Jeep.
Buying a Jeep that has a stick shift, eating yogurt, especially plain yogurt, and living in Seattle. Ways in which I have
Rebelled against your
actively
parents.
rebelled against my parents and their wishes. Oh, and I got an earring too. I got an earring the day before I went to college, and my mother was so upset, and she told me how disappointed she was in me, and I said to her, no joke, I said, calm down.
That's a very Jake response.
I was so mad, I was like,
Calm down.
I was
Mom, calm
18 years old, I can have one thing. I can have the earring. Good check-in, everybody, good double
Wow,
check-in.
that went deep.
That was a doppel check-in right there. My mother is watching. My mother watches these episodes, and so
Hi, Doreen.
Hi, Doreen. I apologize. She does not live at 1194 Highland Road, Mundelein, Illinois 60060. So do not go there, and do not say hi to her. Mr. Henry, do you want to talk a little bit about what this cycle was about, and then you can share the screen. I guess we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I primarily worked on aspects this week, which are not ready to demo yet, but we'll talk about it in a second. We are still getting work coming in from the interns before the summer internship is over on an upcoming feature, a post M1 feature, which we're very excited about, and it's getting very close to being ready to display, or demo. And then we'll show, the panels, which we can now manage, and and I think,
Let's get
and
to it.
persistence now supports perspective as well.
You said panels, and so I went right to your screen. So
Yeah.
it's right over there. Let's take a look at these glorious panels.
Yeah, so right now we're showing no panel, but we can see that there's a little button over here.
Wait,
and
let me go to your solo screen so we can zoom in on it.
Oh, here,
Yeah.
and I can even zoom in on it.
Oh, don't do that. I've got a whole zoom in thing.
I know, but it'll look all granulated. Granulated?
Granulated.
Is granulated a word?
Did granulated?
I feel like that's like
Is granulated
the
a word?
digital
Let us know in the comments.
It's a digital
there's-
equivalent of a sequence dress.
Yeah, a sequence dress. There's sequin and sequence. There are 2 things I need you to comment on. So you get granulated. First thing you get comment on, but you're gonna write 2 comments this week, okay? All right,
Wow,
keep
it's
going.
Two comment week.
Look, it's double check and double comment week. Come on, like it's episode 99. What was it? I got 99 episodes, but a milestone ain't one. So good.
So we have you could close the panel now and get just like a nice single chart view. So that's all cool. But of course, then also, let's click on my debilitated Mercury. And then you can also close that panel now. And of course, if you had the left panel open and then you click on a thing and then you close this panel, it reopens this panel. We talked about that logic in some episode.
I have
long
no
ago.
idea what episode that is. And if I
Yeah.
can find it, it's up there. But it's been so long. There's 99 episodes.
But a milestone
I can't
one.
keep track of all this crap.
Yeah. So anyway, this is really great though because it had been for some reason we just didn't put this in until like fairly late in the game. But
Until now.
until now. But anyway, so that's now
You'll
in,
notice
which is
some
amazing.
weird stuff, by the way. So if you can close and open the left-hand panel. So the close looks great because it goes quick and it wipes away the top part. But you'll see that birth card, the birth moment card shows up before the panel shows up.
Yeah.
It's something I need to fix.
Yeah. We can animate that in too. And then I
screwed up something there.
I just realized that I was also going to show. So here we can also show this really quick, which is kapow. We don't have right now. When you go through the initial setup, you get a option to select the theme, of course.
The viewer's seen that before.
Yes.
Feel free to look at that episode up there.
Yeah, but you can't actually change it after you select it yet, but you will be able to soon. But I just wanted to show what these look like in the light theme too, because they look beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It looks so
good.
good.
The button looks better, I think, in the light than it does in the dark, but you know.
Yeah, there are some things about light mode that I actually like more than dark mode, which is crazy to me because I am such a dark mode fan.
Yeah.
Which is just a testament to how beautiful we've made the app. Good job.
Thank you.
So there's that. Oh, and then I just quickly wanted to show this as well because we didn't show it last time. So right now my birth chart is showing Hellenistic, the Hellenistic perspective. And I can switch over to one of the other perspectives here, and you can see that changes in real time, which we've demoed before. But it also now persists. So if I come back here and then reopen it,
it persists the perspective part of it.
The perspective part of it, yeah. So
now
now
all of it persists now.
Yeah, everything persists. We showed persistence last time, but we didn't show the perspective persistence. So that's now in there as well.
That was in that episode up there. We're just going to link to every episode. That's how this goes down.
That's what the algorithm loves.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let's talk a little bit about aspect calculation because this has been a little bit of a trudge for you. Mr. Henry, we're just going to facilitate a conversation. Usually this turns into a little bit of complaining. Hopefully something more than just complaining comes out of it. We'll see.
There's definitely going to be, one man's complaining is another man's emotional regulation conversation.
Yeah. Look, I love emotionally regulated people. So let's work through our emotions right now. The problem with aspect calculation is that aspects can be calculated on the aspect. So how many degrees does the aspect from partile have meaning? This is more situated in a modern context. And then in a Hellenistic context, you can say that the aspect is purely from sign to sign. So if it's in this sign and that sign, there is an aspect regardless of how far away it is. However, there's also ways in which you can have have the closeness of aspects mean something. And then when it gets to the kind of a Renaissance astrology, you're talking about things like aspects going one way, but not going the other way. So this planet witnesses this way, but this planet does not witness that way. So this is a witnessing type planetary aspect that's not using moiety. And then if you use moiety, that averages them out, and then you would get the two-way aspects. So there's a lot of different ways that this can happen. We're not even talking about other aspect methodologies that we will eventually support, like Huber aspects. Trey says no, but it's going to happen. Also harmonics. Trey says no, it's going to happen.
Trey says no for his own personal practice, but I know that people use these things. And
part of Trey's emotional regulation journey is saying no first, and that's okay. He always says no first, and he gets around to yes. It just takes a little bit of time.
I have a conservative approach.
You have a very conservative approach. You're a conservative man.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to move to Berlin because when I called Trey drunk at 4 a.m. in Berlin, 1 p.m. Seattle time, I asked Trey if he wanted to move to Berlin, and he said, maybe. And maybe for that kind of question is a resounding yes from Trey. So I was like, okay, it's a yes. I got it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Cosmic is all about giving you the components that you need to bricolage a practice that is bespoke and works best for you.
Yep.
So when we talk about things like the different aspect calculation methods over time and sort of like throughout history, we're not saying like you have to pick medieval or you have to pick Hellenistic. No, what we're saying is if you want to use planetary orbs, and which is what I use, for example, because I think it's really interesting that you can have one planet aspecting another planet because it sees it. This is
the witnessing test doctrine.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you might have one of the luminaries being able to see another planet with a smaller orb, but that other planet might not be able to see the luminary back. And that's a really interesting feature of that system that I think is really useful, and I use that. But I also don't want to see aspects which are out of sign. So while I don't use sign-based aspects, if two planets are forming a trine, but they're not in signs that are trine each other, then it's not an aspect according to Hellenistic tradition, and that's what I like to use. So if it's out of those signs, then I don't consider it an aspect. But you, you might be more interested in sort of modern aspect-based orb, where it's like, the orb is on the aspect type, like trines have a certain orb, squares have a certain orb, et cetera, et cetera. And then, but also you don't want out of sign aspects, right? So we want to give you the tools so that you can pick and choose how you want to do this.
Yeah,
so,
I apologize for the way that my screen looks over here on this side here, but like this is where we talk a lot about within our documentation about this aspect calculation method. So the potential values here, you can see that like we're talking about by modern orb, by sign, by modern orb and sign, and like don't get too hung up about these words. These are just internal words here. We probably would never call it modern orb, but we also have to talk about like how Al-Biruni approached this, how Ibn Ezra or Lilly approached this. By moiety, so that's the principle of moiety, which I can't remember the gentleman's name. And there's Huber. You know how much Trey loves Huber and the cosmic egg timer. So we're thinking through this stuff. Not all of those will be within the first milestone of our software, but we will have plenty of things that you can pick and choose from, and you won't be tied down to any one of those aspect calculation methods if you're doing different types of astrology purpose. So
exactly.
You have natal, you've got horary, you've got electional, you've got mundane eventually. Those each might have different perspectives attached to them, and each of those might have different aspect calculation types. I can easily switch, and I can pick and choose while doing each of these kind of, I don't know what we call them, like astrology purposes, right? There's a purpose to each of these.
We call them tradition right now, but I don't think that's quite the right word.
Yeah, tradition is more of like, there's a purpose. I don't know what to call it. Hey, you let us know. You have 3 comments now to give us, so this is comment number 2. What do you call like the objective of like the difference between natal and horary and electional and mundane? If you're into doing all 4 of those things, they all have a different purpose. Maybe I just call it that astrological purpose.
Yeah, and even within one of those sort of astrological purposes or domains or whatever, you might say like, one example is. A lot of clients, or a lot of practitioners who take clients, if a client is really hung up on a particular house system, so like if a client has some history with getting their chart interpreted or read, and they're very fixed on Placidus houses that's the thing that they most resonate with for a house system for their natal chart, then the person that they're working with may, even if they use some other house system, they might switch to Placidus for that one client.
And even if that is about like a bridge between the two.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly, just switching between those two and being like, okay, here's what it looks like in Placidus, here's what it looks like in Whole Sign. I spent a lot of time this week just trying to figure out like how we were going to represent aspects in the data model of the system, how we are going to calculate them based on perspective. So, I've added a bunch of features to perspective so that you can specify these individual component parts, plus being able to say like, okay, if you're doing, let's say, planetary orbs, that you can say like, sun has an orb of this, moon has an orb of this, so that like the specific orb values can be stored. And so on and so forth. So it's just very complicated. And even just the way, like I said, the way that we store it and understand it in the system is really complicated because aspects can be formed across placements in multiple moments.
Oh, yes.
So you can say like, the sun in my natal ring is forming an aspect with
a tri-wheel.
Exactly.
How do you represent the absolute crushing level of aspects that are coming at you? Hint, little preview here, you're not going to get a spaghetti bowl. You're not going to get lines between them because it's insane.
Yeah.
Now
we're already fully prepared for all of the feedback of people who are used to the spaghetti bowl being
say, like, I
you
need
have
the
to have the
spaghetti
spaghetti
bowl.
bowl.
Like,
We
no.
even know who some of those people are at this point.
So this goes, okay,
And-
great transition. If you are a practitioner and you are very passionate about things like aspect and aspect calculation, or just passionate about your practice, we would love to hear from you. This is your third comment. Put it down below. Let us know if you are interested in having a conversation with us. We have 2 astrological practitioners that signed up for research with us, and we're so excited about it. And so the more that we can get, the more we can make things that make sense for you all, because we are taking some amount of leap of assumptions about this idea of bricolage, because we believe that practitioners want to be much more flexible than the software tools allow them to be. But until we hear from you all, it's all an assumption. And maybe we're over-architecting this thing.
Yeah.
We don't think we are, but we might be.
Also, I think that we will, even if, let's say that you want a specific way of representing aspects or something that isn't even on our list yet, right?
You're like, I don't want the spaghetti bowl, but I do want the vermicelli bowl.
I love vermicelli.
I love, look.
It's too carby though.
Too carby,
way
vermicelli.
too carby.
With rice noodles, it might work.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah. Or with those
maybe,
miracle noodles that Mom got, those
the
vegetable
miracle
protein noodles.
Look, we'll give you the miracle noodle bowl within the software.
Yeah.
But the thing is
that
we can't have too many carbs. So the idea here is that if you say, show me the aspects between these 3 points or 4 points, maybe we give you the spaghetti bowl. Maybe at that point, the vermicelli bowl, excuse me, the miracle noodle vermicelli bowl, because you don't want the spaghetti bowl. Trust me.
Yeah, especially if you're doing like a bi-wheel or a tri-wheel.
Just because we've been doing it for so long does not mean that it makes sense.
And actually, we haven't been doing it for that long. Like, this is like totally a modern invention. This like aspects in the center of the wheel.
It's because we used to print out charts on paper, on plotter paper, and that was the asset that you got out of this.
Yeah.
It was a analog asset, and so the idea that you needed to pack all of the information onto there,
one thing,
because it's one thing. But now we have computers and they have interaction. We've talked about this for 99 episodes now. The idea that we would assume a state that was about an analog chart you're giving somebody, but then and forget all the interaction that would go into the chart in order for you to make the discoveries necessary in order to create decisions or create meaning and understanding through interaction. That's where I'm passionate about. That's where design really thrives here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where the cool stuff starts to happen.
We are way off the rails. Please wrap us up, Trey.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to finish the point that I was going to make, which is that we also, by having conversations with our users, it's not only about sort of discovery of the way that users use things, but it also helps us to prioritize. Because if we hear from a bunch of people that like, oh yeah, I do harmonics astrology, which Jake would be very happy about.
Yes. Then my harmonics.
then let's we will prioritize features. It's just the two of us right now, and until we start actually making some money, and it's not just the two of us. Sorry, we do have interns, but they're going to be going back to school very soon. And so, we have a limited bucket of time and resources. And so what we do with that, we want that to be driven by the community. So
we only have so many spoons. So tell us which spoons we should care about, okay? Yeah. Or what I don't want to go to the metaphor of the spoons. Let's just forget all that. Mr. Henry, great conversation. It's 11 a.m. What should the great viewer do with their time? Look, they got 3 comments they have to do down there. After they do their 3 comments, what do you want them to do?
Eat corn chips.
I want you to eat corn chips.
which
hopefully in a paneled room. That would be great, because that would feel kind of akin to a Midwest home. Be well, take care, eat those corn chips in a paneled room. We love you very much. We hope you have a beautiful Saturday. Whatever day you watch this video, we'll see you again next week. It'll be episode 100. Will we have a milestone done? Probably not, but soon. We'll have it one day. It's so close. All right, we love you. Bye.